to me. like seriously, like seriously. I mean, Popia, in as much he can
A
still function.
93-year-old president.
It's the mandate he brought from heaven. He has to fulfill it.
What mandate?
And then, you know, another thing that caught my attention over the weekend, initially it was December, July. They are now telling us that it is not August again, it is now September. Port Harcourt refinery.
September is almost here anyway.
That was why we were counting down to August.
It's almost here.
Why are you coming out to say such at the end of August? August was the deadline that you gave us. Now you have shifted it to September again.
I think
Why are we
it's
acting like all the discos and the gencos in this country? Epileptic statements, epileptic attitude to something as sensitive as our...
No, see, you don't take this personal. I think it is
because Nigerians are suffering because some of these refineries are not. Let one just work.
See, we are.
It was so quick to let subsidy go.
Just hang on now.
I'm
hang
hanging
on.
on.
It is better to it's better to cross all the T's and dot all the I's before. See, let me tell you, and so many Nigerians didn't get something, and I said there are so many intrigues to this refinery thing and all that. While I do understand the challenge that Dangote is going through, and of course, the cry, I've never seen a big man in this country cry as much as he did. I think the last person that did was Abiola. So the fact that you have this kind of situation where he's crying foul, talking about the quality of quality of diesel, quality of petrol, drawing attention to him, he has gotten the sympathy of Nigerians. However, on the one hand, we've castigated NNPDRA, NNPC for trying to sabotage his effort for investing, for taking that risk of investing. But in all over the world, there are countries that refine products, but don't solely, that refine products that do not solely depend on a particular refinery. They also have, United States does still import fuel, even though they have crude oil as well. They import refined product as well. So you have so many people that see, it's too much, and you have a situation where you want all the crude oil for himself in this country. Don't forget, we have other obligations to other countries to supply them crude as well. They say there are so many sides to this. But I like the fact that Tinubu, I think, is going to be in one of the stories where the president, Dangote, NNPC, they are meeting to fine-tune the process. It's better to fine-tune all these things than for us to have a situation where it comes in today, after 2 months, it packs off.
My headache is not about Dangote refinery. It's not about the fact that
is it time? Raise your hope.
That, okay, crude should be sold to Dangote.
My brother, we started this thing in December. We started in December. Yes. That thing was supposed to come up straight in December. In fact, it was supposed to come. Normal? It was August last year. Sometimes you just have to make sure that you don't have disaster. How can I whine you?
I know you're whining me. All right.
I don't like the fact that you don't believe me. Honestly, when I'm saying something,
I believe in my country, Nigeria. Anyways, let's quickly go through our news point for today, and I think we should start with Okonjo-Iweala, the NBA conference, like Joshua highlighted at the beginning of the show. Quickly.
Okay, this is coming from Okonjo-Iweala. Nigeria needs unity, not blame game. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has stressed that urgent need for Nigeria to move beyond political fighting and inconsistent policies that have hindered the country's development since independence. She asserted that collective efforts rather than a blame game were needed to move the nation forward. Well, she stated this at the Nigeria Bar Association annual conference while delivering an address titled A New Social Contract for Nigeria's Future. She said Nigeria today is not where it should be, and our country has not progressed as it should have. That is why more than 60 years after independence, we are still discussing nation building. But we must shift our focus from blame games to concrete actions that tackle present and emerging challenges. Let me stop it here. Well, what she has said is not out of place, but again, Well, blame game will not do any good, but we need to hold our leaders accountable. They
For
asked
me,
for the job.
for me, I think the fact that he was made the keynote speaker speaks to the fact that they wanted a different mind shift from the usual, talking about the Nigerian Bar Association conference. You have a situation where everyone you point to in this country or you want to speak, we have a reason why some things are not working. But when they say do something about it, and I think she's speaking to the key people that can make this thing work, because oftentimes they are in the heart of this logjam we have in the country.
I just hope that what Dr. Mrs. Okunjo said at that MBA conference will prick the conscience of everybody who attended that conference of the MBA. And let me pay your story.
Lagos State government kicks as cargo vessel destroys a 7 billion naira beach barricade. The Lagos State government has kicked over the destruction of 7 billion naira worth of groins along the Lagos coastline at the Mayegun waterfront scheme near Eko Atlantic City. Groins made of rocks or concrete are used to prevent or reduce beach erosion. They are built perpendicular to the shoreline to trap sand carried along the coast by waves and currents, helping to maintain the beach and creating a more stable environment for piers or harbors. It was gathered that cargo vessel destroyed the groins on the night of July 29, 2024, after the vessel offloaded petroleum products at the Apapa port. While reacting to the statement, the Commissioner for Waterfront Infrastructure Development, Yakubu Alibioshu, said it was a sad occurrence considering the amount of money spent by the state to construct the groins. Okay, according to the story, this accident happened while the technical workers on the vessel fell asleep. There were 12 of them.
They fell asleep.
I think the state government should just look for remedial, especially since it's the groins.
I think the Honorable Commissioner for Waterfront, like it was read in that story, will have a meeting with that particular company, and of course they find ways of resolving this matter so that the lives of Lagosians will not be put at risk.
Yeah, that's what happens when you.
All right, just your story.
Okay, moving on to other stories in the news this morning. Tinubu's lifeline for Dangote, other local refineries. President, in a bold move aimed at not only rescuing the $20 billion Dangote refinery and other local oil refineries from an impending collapse, but also ending further rubbishing of the country's image internationally. President Bola Tinubu last Monday offered a lifeline to the refineries, specifically ordered the NNPC to henceforth sell crude to all Dangote and other refineries naira with no longer in dollars. The directive has received a mixed commendation and reservations from oil industry experts and other concerned personalities and institutions. I guess so far, I think I'm bringing I think it's the conversation as to how to resolve the Dangote refineries. Briglo is on. I know the Minister of State for Petroleum is talking. I know that they're working out modalities to ensure that the refinery doesn't go moribund, and other local refineries also are functional.
If Dangote is getting his crude in naira, is it not the price of the crude at the international market that will determine?
It will be sold in naira. That means there won't be pressure on the dollar. In as much, it might be the equivalent
and there won't
in
be
dollar.
subsidy from government.
There hasn't been subsidy so far.
What kind of mood are you in this morning?
See, let me ask you a question, pure question.
Josh, let me take my
Has the
news point.
government at any point say there's subsidy?
Let me take my news point. We know what we know. States, they won't be happy about this story. States oppose FG 600 billion naira votes for 70,000 naira minimum wage. Representative of state government at the last Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting criticizing the decision by the federal government to save additional revenue for the payment of the new minimum wage. This development, which affected their revenue distribution from the Federation Committee, was received with opposing views when an update on statutory allocation showed that the government transferred a sum of 200 billion naira into the non-savings account of the August FARC meeting, making a total of 595 billion naira. The Commissioners of Finance, Akwa Ibom, Dr. Linus Noah, Delta, Okemo TJ, and Ekiti Akitunde Oyebode raised the observation at the last FARC meeting held on the 16th of August 2024, minutes of which was gotten by this newspaper. At the meeting, it was learned that the committee distributed a total sum of 1.6 trillion naira to the 3 tiers of government, 1 billion less than 1.35 trillion shared in June. This is despite recording an increase of 13 billion between the gross total of 2.61 trillion naira in July and 2.48 trillion in June.
What does that tell us?
I've read the story now, so I expect you to maybe you listen.
Oh, yeah.
Are you still hopeful
I am.
that you are getting your 70,000 naira
Because
soon?
I heard over the weekend also that Adamawa State,
yeah,
they've started, paying the 70,000 naira.
Hmm.
And we all know that Edo State started way before, this 70,000 naira was agreed by the president and the NLC.
So
I will remain hopeful. How can Adamawa pay 70 and you're asking whether I am hopeful? I'm hopeful in Lagos.
Okay. I'm also hopeful. The only thing that we can hold on to now is to be hopeful and think of a better tomorrow as long as we are alive. Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Quickly, we'll move to X.
According to my favorite social media commentator, they play.
What kind of play is that? If not joke, make you stop. All right, we'll move to X this morning and see what is trending there. Very, very disturbing one. That incident that happened in the Federal Capital Territory between members of Shite. And of course, unfortunately, about 10 people were killed, according to what I read. And some police officers also lost their lives.
See, I have serious reservations about the way our security agencies they behave. We have DSS, Department of State Security in Nigeria. We have intelligence units. We have police intelligence units. We have so many Let me tell you, since the time I can remember, every time there's a procession by DSS, don't forget, remember the one in Kaduna, where throngs of their supporters were killed, where the Rufai was going for a particular function, and they decided to block the road. They have always been militant. They are having a procession. They're going somewhere in Abuja. Who say for crying out? That's in the heart of Abuja. And you did not know that something is going to happen. You do not know, you didn't know. That's what I'm saying. Before these things happen, you cannot just say that, oh, they were caught unawares, they burned them down. 2 policemen lost their lives and 3 are in coma at the moment. You have a situation where you have this kind of situation happening in the heart of Nigeria, in case you don't know where the FCT is. The center of Nigeria, and that's where the president resides. Yes. I can't explain it.
So if your intelligence gathering is not top-notch in the Federal Capital Territory, then how would it be in some other part of the country?
You can just imagine how weak those cars were also burnt as well. So how can they just come there, you didn't know, and policemen died?
Then they move from somewhere. Before they come to
that's what I'm saying. So where is intelligence? Some people are moving towards this place. So I don't think their gathering is this thing. Have they been authorized?
Where
are they moving to?
Where are the CCTVs in the Federal Capital Territory? Who monitors them?
Well, you have started again this morning.
Those are the questions we need to ask.
You just want to... I see the boy say this one. You want to start with this one again?
Well, it's rather unfortunate, and we do sympathize.
It's sad.
With those that lost
Why will those police officers are somebody's fathers, brothers? I don't get it. I don't get it.
I thought that this group, in particular, this Shiite group, they've been proscribed in Nigeria in 2019.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. How can they move in the FCT?
Yes.
How can they move? They don't come in ones or twos. They move in numbers, and you don't know anything about it. How come? How come they will move from Kaduna to Abuja? Remember when Ezazaki was in incarceration
yeah.
with his
Yes.
wife? Every time it is wahala.
Okay. We do hope that our security agents will definitely address the media probably today or tomorrow and give us details of what actually transpired in the Federal Capital Territory yesterday. We'll be taking a very short break on the program. When we come back, we'll be shifting gears to politics, Edo to be precise, on the conversation this morning. Stay with us.